we're just gonna get back into it because we have games on deck. So we're sending it back over to our casters, Sundown and Clay Sailing, to get into the action. Take it away, boys.
Pour les FNCS en live. On est en partie royale. C'est parti.
Thank you so much, Zeke, Shio, and Bala, and welcome back, everyone. This is game number 4 of the EU FNCS finals. 3 games have been down, and we're also jumping a little bit into this one so we can stay up to date. Clay, what do you think of the action so far?
It has been tense, and it is going to be a nail biter coming into this game. As we saw, the top is only separated by a few points, and there was a 3-way tie there. The third, of course, it all breaks down based on tiebreakers, but our Victory Royale winners are in 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. As Deceptos is in 1st with no Victory Royales. We're hopping on board here first, though, with Thomas HD. He was able to get Shockwave Launcher and that Mythic Charge Shotgun in the inventory. Will he go aggressive in the mid-game, though, however, is the question.
And that's what he's looking for right now. We talked about just how valuable that mythic loot is coming out of Caddy. He also has all of the excess shields and the guaranteed launch pad that comes from the vault, but you still have to execute on the rotation, because while it is super valuable, everyone in their mother and their grandmother and probably their 3rd and 2nd cousins, and that one person you talked to in 3rd grade the one time, they all want this high ground control in the end game, which allows you to convert at a much higher percentage at actually closing out the game.
On m'entend mieux là, les gars?
And Thomas is no stranger to doing that. We've seen him do it before many times, but today, winless on today. There's still 3 more games.
Le retour, on m'entend mieux.
This win, but getting tagged up in this
HD.
early portion of the game is hard for you and for your loot, because you have to invest time, you have to invest
84 personnes restantes. C'est tendu. Chacun avec derrière lui, avec devant lui, un mec dans le bac.
Has to be careful about going for shots like that. Standing still is
J'essaie un peu d'annuler parce que j'ai que ça en anglais.
Always get you tagged up. He was luckily able to avoid it.
And Thomas HD knows all about that, known for being one of the best and most accurate players in Europe, particularly with those hunting rifles and sniper rifles, and able to punish the players looking to throw those shots in there and to rack up damage for Storm Surge. That's
Il y a encore beaucoup de personnes dans la zone.
all about the tags going
Les mecs en
there,
match là, c'est vrai, ils font chier.
take a look at a quick little replay here there as Flois will be able to pick up an elam as he's going through here, but then I believe he fell right after that.
Saras.
Il
gave.
Oh,
Thomas HD qui est mort. Il s'est fait kill par Fury.
And the gas station has been changing up loot spots every single game today, and it doesn't seem to be working out after his great performance in that first game.
And Wolfie is actually also going down to himself there, which to me indicates he
tried to
RPG too close there.
Secondaire possible. Ok, Thomas AG qui décide de rush. Ok, prend la hauteur. Petit matelas de la part de l'ennemi. Petit coup de répulsive. Ah, Fortnite. Oh, le kill. Oh, le Ziffer Pacifique qui s'est fait kill par Thomas HD.
Give him the donkey laugh into the L with a quick little dab, and then back into the L. Show him what you got. Show Thomas HD some love, because that was a well executed play there. He's going to look to continue.
Thomas HD qui passe à 27 points. Donc voilà, vous avez le score en top 1, ça donne 14 kills. Deuxième, 11 points. Troisième, je crois que ça donne 13 ou 14.
Because they are near the top, they want to keep pushing the pedal. They realize how close it is. They say, you know what? If you're gonna catch me, you need to go just as aggressive as I am, if not better. Deceptos is looking for a snipe, almost hits it, and he barely even saw that.
Thomas HD qui se fait kill par Go Decrypto, qui a 32 points, donc du coup qui a 1 kill. J'ai jamais eu. Ok, petite tortelle. Oh. Oh, beaucoup de monde au liège.
Will come into play. Don't forget that is 25 damage every 10 seconds, and with only the 3 minis, that's very rapidly going to pick through. But he should have an opportunity here.
Go des cryptos qui commence à engager face à l'adversaire en face, donc à un toucher 30. Il a décidé de se rusher. Ok, il se fait rush par une autre personne. Peut-être le temps. De la part de Go des cryptos.
And a nice heads-up tag there by Deceptos to get another tag for that Storm Surge. He's hopping the box. He's done with it. He says, you know what?
Et Go des cryptos qui chope le kill. Il était facile, très facile.
A placement point as well as the elim point going into that top 75 placement threshold.
Yeah, and a good job. So huge impact elimination there. We talk about tags, which is when you're just trying to land shots for some damage, not necessarily looking to convert, but a massive conversion, which ends up being 2 points to the placement swing, puts him well above the Storm Surge threshold. So their number one place, not going to be
On passe du
threatened
côté
by
de
that.
Corail Castle avec TDR Ayer Bafo qui a actuellement 1 kill et 20 points. Pas un des meilleurs au niveau du classement. Ok, qui se prend une balle. Oh my god. Bro. Le laser au pistolet. J'aime bien le mec qui fait what. C'est ouf.
All of those assault rifles have had their headshot multipliers change to be 1.5. The pistols, on the other hand, still have a 2.0 headshot multiplier, which means given the higher rate of fire, if you're able to be accurate and find 1 or 2 headshots like you saw in that situation, you can convert into eliminations on a really consistent basis, and sometimes even better with the AR. But now,
toujours avec Thomas HD qui a actuellement 2 kills. Oh oui. Donc il a fait un kill entre temps. On n'a pas le temps de voir. Il y a actuellement un fight en face. 2 personnes dans la même portal. Oh, ça risque de... Ok, Thomas HD qui décide de se box et de se shield là. Il a bien raison, il a bien raison. Ok, il l'a vu, il l'a vu. Très simple. Très simple, tu l'as vu, tu l'as vu. Bien joué de laser. Petit laser. Oh, le kill de la part de Thomas HD qui passe à 3 kills. C'est très bien d'ailleurs. Parce que t'as le mode sensu, c'est grave bien. Surtout qu'il a le pompe mythique, le lance répulsif mythique. Bien.
If he's able to pick up any minis or floppers there, he's in a good spot. Someone, however, not in a good spot is Ardent.
C'est bien si t'es sur live un petit coup quoi toi. Oh, Belhen qui fait le kill. 9 points, ça va. Trop big up à toi Cyprien.
He could get there because you notice not a ton of materials coming over just below the elimination counter to the right of his name. You can see the total number of builds he has available as it does start ticking down. So only about a third of the maximum.
On va voir Thomas HD. Donc ils sont 64 dans la zone. C'est ce que j'aime dans les FNCS. C'est que c'est serré. Ok, toujours BL, très bien. Ah, c'est un replay, d'accord. Petit replay. Making sure he's closing this out, and you can see because the storm is pressing up on the back and Ardent doesn't have the supplies or anything to really get past Hen, he's just forced to go. On revient avec Go des cryptos qui est toujours un kill, qui a une hog, une fusil à pompe tactique bleue, du shield, des pads, ça va. Il est plutôt bien.
And where the Holly hedges, that's really good for players like Rezon.
Oh oui, on arrache 2 gros spots. Je vois que ça se met très bien.
Storm Surge will be a factor in this next zone as it starts to close. We only need 10 players, however. A little bit less of the players alive as this was a harder rotate for some players to make.
C'est galère hein. Jetpack clavier c'est très chiant.
Constantly looking for tags, constantly looking for picks, constantly looking for anything he can to continue to spread his lead even more because he was only in the lead before this by 2 points. Now will definitely be in the lead by at least 3 with that elimination, but that's not going to be enough for him.
Si ça rame les gars au niveau du gameplay là, c'est
Fortnite.
Hein.
That's where he wants to be, and he's actually following the path of Rezon right now.
And trying to do his best to play
Les gros
Fortnite
des
as a
tutos.
platformer, just hitting
Il y a deux
all
personnes
the
devant
scratch
lui
pads, but
qui
unfortunately
cherchent pas le point.
missing the
Oh, la
second one, and
petite
he's going to
balle
end up paying
que...
for it as the spray
C'est pas
comes
très bien.
through, and now
Oh,
he's going to be forced to burn some of the shields
que ça
there.
décide
Make sure
pas,
he
ça
gets
va.
himself back up. You do see Rifla moving past him there. That was the match number 3 winner, trying to continue his momentum and rolling forward as now back on board here with Deceptos. Burn 2 of his minis and one of the big
T'as les mecs qui lancent des trucs sur l'écran, mais non.
Oh
my god, oh là là, oh.
1, 2, 3 shots, but then he needs to back off right away because he picked up racks.
Oh, le laser qui va mieux attaquer. Très belle première balle. De la part de Goulet des cryptos.
Piling in, establishing their box on the edge of the zone, trying to pull the half in, half out, but not get eliminated and not end up being the focus of other players. That's why you see kind of these different apartment buildings kind of being
Il est chaud, il est chaud, il est chaud.
towards the side. As now we swing on over to Tayson, who also has Snazy right by him, but Tayson currently throwing some great shots and in an
Bande de
awesome
clodos, jeter des trucs sur l'écran.
And in a very good spot because there's no one really looking at him in that area. Now, if Zone does not pull where he wanted to, he will be in an awkward spot, but you see a shark coming through the background, hitting some players, somebody else down below just trying to stave off the pressure, the lobby spray coming through, and that's what happens when you be a little bit of a loot goblin.
On le guide de la part de A11 Tayson,
looking to get another elimination there.
Qui est actuellement 2 kills et 23
Trying
points.
to rotate out as well, a lot of shots going down, everybody firing, he finds the man.
Bon, on doit dire
there, he's getting the
en
shot
anglais, mais je peux le dire.
down to him, but I think that elimination is going to go over to Vidéo.
On est 49. Enfin, ils ont 49 dans cette petite zone. Ça promet. Ça promet, ça promet. La zone qui est appréciée actuellement, ça va devoir bouger.
In the zone meant the late rotate wasn't going to pay off. As now, look at the players who are all stacked on top of each other here. We're going to hop on board.
With de la part de Gambi.
Pick up Floppa Michael. We are inside the top 50, so second placement point has gone over. Now back on board with Letwick again, trying to push through and find a second Elam. It's Rifla who's going to get down. That was the match number 3 winner, so still plenty of the top players left in this one.
But they could go down if Letwick's continuing to push this advantage, but he doesn't have HP in his inventory. He's got the floppers, but no extra minis. This is not what he wanted from that loot. He was hoping for big chug splashes, any more minis there, but not able to get it. Maybe wonder if Rifle was able to steal some of those away as he decides to disengage. Contemplating near Slick there. The Strokey down there as well. Slender, Vidéo, Queasy, Tayson down there as you see them panning through. Rifle though in a very good spot to look at anybody crash padding into zone.
Dans le 24 de la part de BL Rafla. Ça joue beaucoup pas là. Oh le kill, il passe actuellement à 3 kills, 35 points. C'est plutôt bien. Là faut surtout jouer les classements, là. Enfin les classements, les tops.
Pretty much everyone has already made it right to the edge of the circle. So once we move into zone number 6, aka the moving zones and the late game, it's all going to be about the rotation priority. This is the late game, match number 4. All of the top players are still in it, so keep an eye on that top left corner. Who's taking down who? All of them are capable of winning this game and closing out the victory route. 40 players remaining. Zone's going to close here, and we'll have the first reveal of the moving zones. You can see Rifla, Deceptos, 7 Tor, Stealing.
Ils sont plus de 10, je crois, ouais, plus de 10. Vache. Heureusement qu'on a passé en solo.
Everybody is going to be forced to rotate. Look in the bottom right-hand corner. Pretty much the entire lobby is on the south side, and you have to go northwest. This is going to signal a ton of early crash pads, early launch pads, and then players who don't have that utility either looking to recycle it from opponents or just branch out right away. And here it goes. The crash pads.
Ok, ça décide de panne. Très bien.
Rifle choosing to just launch instead of recycle because he doesn't want.
Ok, t'as tout le monde qui panne. Oh la vache. T'as vraiment tout le monde qui panne. Ok, petite box qui passe crème. Oh, grosse roquette. De LPG. Oh la vache. Et ça, on l'a mis à 29 HP. Ok, il a le temps de chercher une balle à 80 du pompe tactique de la part de BL.
He also needs this. He desperately needs to get elimination, challenging high ground there, and now dropping down.
And MCS X Squeezy has just picked up a huge elimination. Deceptives going down. Anas also going down. Squeezy got picked up
toujours
right
tranquille de la
before
part de
that,
BL.
but the two
Mais
top
par
players
contre,
are now
37
out.
points,
This is
ça augmenté.
Rifle's
Avant c'était
opportunity
35.
to stamp it. Hen is out as well. There's another player who is top 6 going into it. All of the legends are dropping, and Rifle is saying it's my opportunity to shine. He won match number 3. Can he turn it around? He picks up Slicks as well, saying I'm the best of us right now. I will prove it. 39 points. Top 25 going through another placement threshold, but can he execute from the low ground, now hopping up into the mid ground as we get a look at the wide and everyone else rotating through, but back on board with Rifle, already 4 eliminations and pushing for that next placement threshold at top 20 as Janice picks up Thomas. Shrimzy also going down, another point ticking over, and that's around 40 for Rifle.
Et donc il vient de dire ça c'est un compte tactique, je sais pas si c'est légendaire ou violet. Oh, je passe actuellement 4 kills, 40... Oh dommage, BL qui est mort. Donc à 4 kills et 41 points. Dommage. Est-ce que Thomas est toujours là? Ah non, non je crois pas. Ok, il reste 10 personnes je crois. 10 players.
Second high position, looking to get anything going there is Interact is hiding behind Letwick there. We get a lot of wides coming through as Janice is trying to pressure down there. I believe with that pistol there, or maybe an AR, doesn't really have much to work with. It seems like this is HP has not increased. Is Tayson going to get tagged on up?
On l'a vu le laser, on l'a vu.
Scrib trying to make their rotation through. Slender on the low ground as well as Stacey. PCH is unfortunately going to fall. Interact going to be there as well.
Peut-être potentiellement 9. Non, exactement.
Looking to make it more. 9 total players remaining. That crash that flopper. Scrib is going to fall there.
Ok, 8 personnes.
Trying to rotate with the last little bits of match that he's got. He's got enough hard match to make one more box, and then he's going to have to make a play. As everybody making plays down below, he's just trying to hold out. He doesn't want to drop down right away. Stacey going down. Nice shot there on a Tayson. It's a mythic loot.
À part de Wade.
Be able to pick it on up. Everybody falling. Punch going down as well. Floppers being popped.
Il essaie de escalader la tempête le temps de ce film. Très bien, bien joué. Il a des poissons, il peut... Par contre, tu es très loin de la zone. Faut avancer. Ok, matelas, très bien. Si les poissons à perdre de... Non, il n'y a plus de poissons, oui. 3 personnes. 3 player late. Ok, voilà, dommage, Wade qui meurt, qui tombe. Oh, c'est Slender qui se prend un laser. Ah, je vais me tranquille, 21 points. Sur le shield. Ah, la pression. Oh, Wave qui tombe.
Slender with the 4
eliminations,
the victory royale, 25 points coming out and executing from the low ground. Janice unfortunately not able to close it out with the shockwave launcher, but a good defense coming out from Slender there. In 4 matches are down with just 2 games remaining. Who will walk away with that #1 spot in Europe? Zeke, Bala, Shio, break it down for us. Let us know what we're looking for.
There's a lot of things that we are looking for, and right now there's actually some we have yet to see, and the leaderboard is going to help uncover what it is we're missing, because there's a shark hiding in the shadows as we are running through this race toward this finish line, boys. First off, big congratulations there to Slender. I like the victory royale, and I like the defensive route he needed to take there to keep Janice away from being
Absolutely, and now we're going to be looking at the ramifications
of
that game and what it's going to look like going into the final slots over here for Europe. For the standings, in first place, is it someone new? What's it going to be? No.
Ok, pour l'instant c'est BL, ok.
To that top spot, 41 points in total. Now almost
qui est premier dans le top, donc un top 1, 12 kills, donc 41 points. Oh, Go Decrypto qui est actuellement deuxième. Gambit, BLANAS, Wade qui est 5ème. Fury, on avait vu, hein. Belle performance. 10e dans le classement. 30 points.
Which actually pushes his average placement way out. And if that happens again, that is dangerous. Whereas Deceptos and Letwick, they've only had one game where they've fallen out of the 4 in around the top 40 area, which is actually converting on a little bit of but otherwise too, they're pushing deep into the top 10 on every game that they make it into that end game. So that is very, very crucial looking forward. I think it's going to be a duel between Deceptos and Letwick.
I mean, they are pulling away from the pack. Look at the top 3 down to top 10. You're looking at an 11-point differential. And don't forget, Flois was the first winner on the day. He got the first
Fury a 10 points d'écart entre BL et BL. Bon, donc premier. Ok, on a le top suivant.
Still though, like everyone always has this expectation that it's possible for these players.
Ok, Slender qui vient de top 1, on l'a vu, hein, qui est actuellement 17e.
But after watching EU today, it is the same players we're seeing alive in endgame. When we say these guys just need
ok, un Grizzly qui est en top 12, c'est bien ça. C'est bien ça. Ok, un Grizzly qui est 21e. Mongrel. Mongrel qui est 22e.
21st right now, Mongrel also middling around 22nd. That's not where these guys want to be going into the final 2 games, but there's still a chance. We all know when it comes to 6-game grand finals that the final 2 games mean so much.
No matter what, these guys want to get better than anyone else around them, want to place higher. So all the way till the final game, the competition will stay high.
We got to think, man. 2 games left. It's wild to think we've been doing this for like 3 weeks now, and now we get to look at the conclusion, see who will hold the Axe of Champions high, and after 2 games, we'll have a new FNCS champion. Now, guys, we were kind of talking about players, the shark in the water, and it's none other than Deceptos, who is finding himself in that 2nd place. We haven't seen him much on broadcast, so what has this guy been doing?
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was going to be a group effort here, but 100% we'll break it down in just a sec. Deceptos has basically been going, as you said, Zeke, through those shadows, right? He's been playing around other players and how, you know, kind of pop off they've been. They're kind of showing overall exactly what they can do and break down in front of everyone else. And while they're taking the spotlight, that's the word I was looking for, Deceptos is operating in that background. He's getting everything these players are not looking at or seeing.
Yeah, there's so much to actually consider when getting into Deceptos' game plan because, like I said, he's converting on these end games. I want to find out how. I want to find out where this man is dropping and how he's actually transitioning into the end game. Because, like I said, it's so important, but these are some of the things we miss. Him in top 10 right here, 2 eliminations, and he still makes a couple counts. While some at the top, like Rifle, might be having a little bit more impact in terms of elimination, he's making it count for placement.
And this is exactly how he gets his game started. Let's actually break down what he does every single game, specifically that last one too. Landing somewhere near Lazy Lake, actually taking a back alley loop path all the way across the map, picking up so many houses that people will get to later on faster than them, and then getting into these positions, these boxes fast, where he has control and can drop down these shotgun shots in really crazy angles.
And this game right here was actually Deceptos' first game where he ended up falling after that top 50 mark, so he got the 2 placement points. But what he did do is actually fight a little earlier, grab that elim on Bad Sniper, and then has the awareness to recognize that Rax is in the box next to him. He'll convert, but after those 2 fights, that's when it gets to be a little risky for Letwick. It was last game that was an issue for him. This time, he's still going in, and he'll take down so many important ones. That was a Nas, and you know how high he was on the leaderboard.
And these guys are in the game every single time. They are taking out these big names. We alluded to these 20th place players possibly rising to the top. They have to overcome these 2 monstrous barriers.
I mean, you know, and it's just going to come down to the final 2 games here. Rifle holding strong at the top, but Deceptos, they're lurking in the waters. You've got Letwick who's on the side. Anas, who picked up the Victory Royale, is here as well to play. The Deal, who made it through, which, by the way, sat in the storm forever, was eating floppers, and then is like, oh, I have to get to the storm? I got crash pads, baby, it's good. So many names are in this race right now.
Yeah, but for me, I'm going to pick Deceptos making through in these last 2 games. He has been playing out of his mind, and before that game where he fell after 50th place, for him it was an average placement of 9.67. So I'm going with the Frenchman. Allez les bleus, let's go.
Allez, les bleus, let's
Okay,
go.
I'm going to pick a rifle to stay up top. I feel like being in first is a big deal, and he can hold on and stop these two men, no matter where they're from taking that top spot.
All right, I'm going to the deal because he has style points, and I like style. Guys, with that being said, we're getting ready to head into the next game, game number 5, here in EU.
Allez,
So
les
now,
bleus,
play,
let's
throw your
go.
way.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. And with just 2 games left to go, it is tightly contested at the top of the leaderboard. You see Rifle currently holding a 4-point lead just over Deceptos and Letwick, but plenty of people within striking distance still. We've seen time and time again.
Ok, donc la zone est à l'agence, il y a beaucoup de monde à l'agence, comme on peut voir. Énormément de gens à l'agence. 3 personnes à Frenzy Farm. Presque 4 à Steam Stats, à Dirty Dog actuellement 4. Il était drôle 4. Beaucoup bien dispersés. Hein. En tout cas, les villes ne sont pas vides. Ah, ok, donc il reste 2 games. C'est la deuxième. Donc celle-là et encore une autre.
Yeah, there's so many opportunities for you to break sight lines, get through. You can also see Llama tagged up. Llama 210 over there. Chat calling it out. Everyone, it's plenty of opportunities to get through. And Rifle is going to be super thankful for that. The Llama coming through is such a big influx of not only materials, but key end game items that really enable you to go through, especially getting that launch pad. But now you can see engagement going on over here with Supremacy's Floki and Flecken. Who will be the better F as they fight it out here? The question will be resolved quickly as the crash pad ends up coming through. Floki putting the pressure down on the Flecky, but nobody necessarily.
Oh, le kill!
As I say that, Floki
De la part de Supremacy Floki.
Thanks for the loot. I'll take that epic tactical shotgun.
Effectivement, un kill et 18 points. Ça peut le faire remonter. 18 points, c'est pas fameux quand même. Ah, le build, il a l'air de galérer. Ah, sous son escalier, ouais, quand même. Je vais ça en fin de zone quand même. Oh, on retourne avec Thomas HD qui a 33 points. Qui a... Oh, j'aurais dû faire ma bouche.
Vestakira taking down what was the 7th ranked player there. So what you care about right now as a viewer, we're keeping an eye on that top left-hand corner.
Bad Sniper. 23 points, donc on l'a vu.
That's going to set up the story for what the final game is and who's going to have an opportunity. But right now, Bad Sniper needs to be careful. First AR shots come out right away from the bush. Wookie trying to set up an ambush, and Bad Sniper going to cover himself up and immediately start burning through that utility because he doesn't want to get pressured down.
He's got to be careful. This player's near eye as well. He's got to get out. And this is Kiriachi. This is kind of what we expect from him at this point, just going aggressive and going into boxes where he definitely doesn't have the advantage, but his aim is going to be the advantage there for him. He does hit the floor there, but not able to keep tracking Bad Sniper there. The third party comes in, but he's not phased. Shot comes through, and he does end up hitting it. The crash back going to be used. Playing in the box, they're going aggressive. Bad Sniper, though, is actually going to pick it up and let him turn around.
Oh, c'est Bad Sniper, non, c'est pas dommage. Déjà lui, Grésy.
Finishing that one out under pressure. He needed that to stay in the running and to stay in contention just outside the top 15 right before that.
Gagne ce fight. Donc là, vous avez toujours le classement en haut à droite.
Somebody who is either really hot or really cold, and right now sitting at only 7 points after 5 matches. Well, he's looking ice cold.
Donc voilà, toujours chaque élimination apporte un point.
Deceptos on fire right now, 37 points, is in second place, however. His lead did get snatched away from him there, but he does have the tools to do it. He's got a shotgun AR, he's got rotation, and he's got the heals. Question is, this zone, how is he going to play it? Already choosing to base up in a really good spot as well. Does not have a lot of metal, but can extend out to that bridge if he wants to. And this is what happens in these last couple games. If you're near the top, you base up very, very early because you don't want your game being affected by any little thing.
That's the goal, is just to make it into that mid-game, transition yourself, avoid those early games. And if you are just joining us, whether it's on Twitch, Twitter, watch.fortnite.com, or in Party Royale, welcome. This is game number 4 of the EU FNCS Solos Finals after 2 weeks of competition and then heats. This is the top 100 players battling it out, and they have 2 matches left to stake their claim as the best player in Europe, walk away with that top prize pool and also Act of Champions. And right now, Gamers Origin Deceptos is in 2nd place, just behind Rifla, who we saw take away match number 3 and have a solid performance in match number 4. But right now, needs to be careful because we've seen what Flois is capable of, and he's right nearby it.
And Deceptos is
79 players later. Il reste 79 personnes. Première étape de zone. Oui, il y a actuellement 0 kill. Prends pas de risque.
And other players are going to start to do that as well. They need that pop-off game. They need that game to really set them apart.
Après les gars, je pense que ça partira en Warzone.
Replay here from Ludwig's perspective, as he's on the back foot running away from a henchman, as well as another player there is going to look
tout le monde
qui a. Jules, and unfortunately, you can't take down Jules when there's a carrot lurking nearby.
Ok, on passe à Lazy Lake.
Coordinated spray there between the henchman and carrot will take down Letlick. He was 3rd place going into this, so still plenty of room for others to move up the leaderboard, but hopping on over with Hen, who was 6th coming into this match, trying to keep an eye on who's on the top of the leaderboard. What are they doing to set themselves up? Because again, this is the 2nd to last match, so if you're going to get going, you have to move now. And with top 75 ticking over, that's 1 point for everyone left in the lobby. You get a placement point for outlasting the first 25 players, then you get a placement point for outlasting the next 25 players, so that's top 50, and then after every top 10 until you get to the top 25, and then it's every 5 players until you're into the top 3. So right now, Hen just trying to settle himself up, make sure he has plenty of materials. He's in a good spot to rotate after this, but he is very far south on the zone, so if zone number 2 does pull northward, it can be a little difficult. However, he's looking to just potentially find tags on rotating.
Oh, le bal à 22. Qui passe crème.
And he needs this because he came into the game down, I believe my math correct, 7 points there. That's a lot of points, especially with the low amount of eliminations that we've seen Hen get. Not really one to be up there in the average elimination category, but he's got it. We got number 3 went down, number 7 went down. In 6th place coming into this game, has got an opportunity to really solidify himself. I know a lot of people who saw that performance in the qualifier where he ended up getting 2nd place and were like, oh, that's not the Hen that I know, but an ambush being set up shows that Hen has got the ability to do it. And
ok, il décide de push. Oh, première balle qu'il a mis très très bien. Qui joue un poisson. Ok, il prend les 3 poissons. Il met très très bien. Ok, il pose des poissons. S'il va les prendre. Je crois qu'il en a plus de 4. Ok, il les prend, il les prend.
That's what he's looking to do in a really good job. We talk about how the best players in the world, not just in the region, but at the absolute highest level, not only are they capable.
Là, on a à côté de Salchi, entre Salchi et en plein milieu de Salchi. Non, non, en plein milieu de entre Salchi et l'autorité.
Spots to take advantage of their opponent. Notice how Hen was crouched side to side of the wall. In Cartoon, we talk about taking advantage of rotations there, using the epic sniper rifle, catching Benji out in the open on top of the authority. Sometimes that's all it takes. No warning, nothing whatsoever, except the whizzing of a bullet and then all your loot dropping down.
D'ailleurs les gars, pour la nouvelle saison qui arrive le 27 août, on sera en live très très tôt. On sera en live vers 9h, 8h je pense. 8h, 9h du matin, on sera en live. On attendra la nouvelle saison.
FNCS situations. We saw it back in Season X with MMB where they kept getting ambushed over and over again, and it's proving true today. But right now, our number 1 player, Rifla, under all the pressure in the world and only those 2 minis to get himself back up, and Scram is not letting him heal up at all, not relenting, trying to pressure down and give everyone else a chance to catch up.
Rifle's got to make a play here. Scram is 200 HP as Rifle can crash it in. The box goes through. He's not going to be able to crash
il a rien compris là. Il a rien vu venir.
That's really good for Deceptos, who currently in second place right now.
Not only is it good for Deceptos,
Petite Hog, violette et pompe. Tactique violet, c'est très très bien. Surtout en FNCS. Oh, Stevie Tax, il y a du fight, hein.
You can convert a victory royale. That's 14
Wow.
points without the eliminations. Traditionally, we've seen
Ah ouais, là,
that
tu
four,
tombes,
if
c'est...
not five. That's a 19-point game. Any
Sauf si
player
tu te
who
rattrapes.
walks away with a victory here
Mais,
could rocket themselves up the leaderboard. And Tayson's trying to do it, and he does it to Janice himself over in the Steamy Stack side. The duo and trio partners, they've played together time and time again.
Tiens,
But
des
there is
revenus
no
avec Tayson,
love
qui a
lost
un
in
kill.
solos. It doesn't matter who you're fighting against. At the end of the day, with 2 matches left, when your back is against the wall and that Axe of Champions is on the line, when you've seen the #1 player go down, you're taking every fight at 100%, and Tayson cleans up the FNCS Invitational winner, no problem there.
A beautiful
Ok, on a
display
Go,
of skill there.
Donc, je dis Go, Décito.
Says, you know what? All is fair and love is war. I'm taking you down. I'm getting it. Just a reminder, there's $800,000 on the line.
Tiens, le rigot.
One elimination could
Mon gars,
separate
tu vois,
you
difficile de dire,
from
mais...
a certain placement threshold on that overall leaderboard, and that could be the difference between some big amounts of money. And so no one wants to go out just sitting there not taking engagement or having to think about, oh, that one elimination would have put me there. Deceptos, however, in second place right now, but first place, third place, 7th place are all out of the game. Anas still in the game from what we know, Fadil still in the game from what we know, and Hen still in the game from what we know. There's still a chance for him to be challenged, but this is great for Deceptos because if he can just make it to a top 5, he's already going to eclipse the points that Rifle had. So any eliminations and any placement past that will be so good for him.
Yeah, you can see what Deceptos is doing right now is he's hanging
Ok, on est avec Go, Décito, toujours. Actuellement 0 kill. Oh, ça commence à...
You can see out the top of that cone. You can kind of scout out the information around you. He's trying to figure out where the priority is, and once the zone does reveal, he's going to move a little bit more inland from that outside. He knows he doesn't want to be
Derrière lui, devant, sur les côtés.
also doesn't want to move too far center as he wants to set himself up for that 4th and 5th zone positioning. As now we're going to swing on over the farm. And a number of players here, Lecce, Ardit, Mongrel, and Noah Riley, all posted up right on top of this barn and also right on the edge of that next safe zone.
He's got a shockwave launcher that has been doing very well. I think 3 out of the 4 games the player has won with actually using it. That last game we saw it actually get defeated there. The question is, will Noah be able to reign supreme with it? With only 27 builds, I don't think he's going to be able to do it. He's got to get this elimination down below. Dropping through the rafters, though, we'll give him an opportunity to get a strap.
Ok, donc là, les gars, on est à Freeze Farm. Avec Ova.
He does not want to be in. And the quick edits out will return him
Noah Riley.
but there's not much to work with here. He's already farmed it all out.
Yeah, and he's going to now start breaking those builds. You saw they were already damaged, just trying to get as much wood without actually converting over. But
oh, c'est lui qui lance grenade, très bien.
Right on the white line of the zone, but
Il y a actuellement 4 personnes à la grange rouge. Ova qui a le pompe mythique. Il tire vraiment un atout. Ok, si tu te sens menacé, tu repulsives, histoire de prendre la hauteur. Ah, ouh, GG. Oh la vache. GG, il l'a bien. Il a bien géré. GG. Ok. Maintenant, faut qu'il se refile. Ok, lance-grenade, c'est bien fait. C'est bien, c'est bien.
That was too close for comfort there for Noah Riley. Got that Elam, but not as many matches he was hoping for it, and hopefully able to continue his streak going through. But now we're on board here with Rezon. Same kind of situation. A lot to work with in the inventory, but not a lot of matches. And look, he's looking to set up. Oh, crash pad in the top. Will he get in? No, the
Ça
cone's
décide
gonna
de
prevent it,
rush.
but he's all the way in.
Oh, la
He
balle de
doesn't care.
pompe qui passe.
The player being a little bit
Go
too
Décito,
careful
je
with
pense.
their builds.
Je pense que c'est lui.
And what of that
Go
drop,
décider,
and
je
they're not
pense.
going to be able to get it as Rezon going to get the drop on them as they're continuing the crash pad. Crash pad in, trying to get the clear out, and shots go through, and PCH
Ah non,
is
c'était
going
pas
to go
lui.
down
Ils ont le même skin.
yet again.
En tout cas, ouais, il a su bien gérer les maths là. C'est joli.
He'd be able to just kind of advance himself into the game. And notice too, he pulled that fourth zone. He's right on the edge of that, so he should be looking to see how many extra materials he was able to pick up from PCH there and just build himself a nice little base.
D'ailleurs les gars, n'hésitez pas à aller me follow sur Twitter, trash as Pico. Je vais le mettre en description, donc n'hésitez pas à venir follow et passer faire un petit coucou.
With Hen, who was 6 coming into this match, another big opportunity for him to rocket up the leaderboard with his teammate Rifle going down.
He's got to make a very, very good slate of decisions in front of him. When does he rotate? Does he rotate now? If you look, he's got a good white line there, only one player.
Ok, actuellement 21h42. Il reste 59 personnes.
But look how many arrows assume that as well. And so unfortunately, he's got a lot of players in this area. He's trying to set up an ambush, but nobody is going to fall for it. Kane is going to be the one nearest there as he does get some shots, but this is not where Hen wants to be. He's going to have to get creative on this next piece of the rotation because Kane's going to sit in the cone. He's got to realize that, and he does. He puts the ramp. He knows immediately that that cone in the middle of all these builds is a little bit fishy.
It's a little bit fishy. You can also tell as soon as it enters that edit state, it's no longer that fully built. If you see a non-fully built cone, you have to be wary of it. But that player trying to catch advantage of
de la part de BL.
Welcome to the chicken coop. I'm the boss here.
GG, actuellement 2 kills.
No problem closing in on that second placement threshold. But Hen trying to catch up and take over that #1 spot, being the top legend. But now on board, one of the favorites is Rezon, who has had a relatively decent performance today, just on the outside of the top 15.
Ok, là on est sur Raison. Il reste 55 personnes. Il a actuellement 1 kill et 26 points.
And every day you play Fortnite, somebody gets better, somebody improves, and somebody comes out of nowhere. And you've got to be on top of that. And for some of these players, sometimes, you know, it doesn't end up working out that way.
Le nombre de personnes va pas tarder à descendre.
Unfortunate to see him go down there.
Fin de zone, ça commence à chaque fois à descendre. Oh, surtout sur cette zone là. Oh oui. Ça va pas tarder à descendre.
Not shooting through a wall. He does get some tags onto Swaps. The Swaps is dropping down onto Wolfies, and Wolfies is actually
ouais, donc là, pour ceux qui viennent d'arriver, après, petit live Warzone. Histoire de monter en niveau, même si on n'est pas beaucoup, je viens de commencer.
Time and time again, and that's kind of what European solos is about. Like, yes, you can be good when you have all the tempo, but pretty much every other one of these players is good at playing high tempo. As Reason identifying the fact that that fight had been resolved, immediately crash pads over, and he's able to pick that one up. Now he has 3 players worth of loot over on the side with priority on zone. He's going to be somebody to keep an eye on to potentially take advantage of the fact that 3 of the players in the top 7 have already fallen. Tayson, another player we want to keep an eye on. He was top 10 before coming right into this. He's able to pick up Steelix with just 1 HP to spare before that siphon ends up coming through, and that's a 2-point swing as we hit top 50.
And he finds the extra minis as well. This is so good. He gets the flopper off. He's going to have minis to refill the ones that he's trying to take. And he finds a good path to zone as well. This was very, very clutch in getting into this in-game. Because had he not found that, he would have been very, very, very much in shambles. As Rezon nearby, Mawaka there as well. As we get Nebby.
Yo, pro white.
Martin there on your screen. Mr. X as well. Advises there. A Savage now in this in-game as well. 17 points. So he needs 2 back-to-back perfect games to get to that top.
Yeah, and it's somebody who's very good at executing in the mid and the late game. We've seen time and time again 100 Thieves, Mr. Savage, in We've also haven't
Il
seen
est
as much
cherché
as
un
we
gros.
did before. The peppers in play. When you eat those peppers, you get a huge move speed boost, and it lasts for a minute. So when you get in these late game circles, it gives you a lot more options and a little bit more versatility when you're in these fights. And right now, Savage doesn't have one activated, but using that crash test dummy, hoping to avoid an explosion right here and potentially be the one to cause a little bit of demolition derby. Gonna drop in the box, finds the first shot, finds the second, can't quite convert right now, 5 HP, and he gets taken down. Mr. Savage,
Ah, ça fait plaisir Pro White.
going to be on the
Ça fait
outside
plaisir et
looking
merci.
in when it comes to contesting for the top spot. Both him and Benji, two of the fan favorites,
N'hésite pas à mettre un pouce bleu si live te plaît.
from that Axe of Champions competition, but want to know who's not? E11 Tayson up on the high ground right now, just raining shots down in that full built metal base, and then using the ramps around the side to cut off any angles.
Ok, il reste 42 personnes. Tayson qui passe à 3 kills, 37 points actuellement. Qui est plutôt bien pour le classement.
Towards that player to potentially scoop up whatever he can get as we close in on top 40. That's placement points going over in the next rotation, moving out.
And what a stark contrast where we saw him on the low ground, had high ground all of a sudden, and now fragging out is getting elimination after elimination on 3 now, looking to pick up number for that player. No shields remaining, no builds remaining as well. That's going to be Young Bob going down. Tayson now looking for elimination number 5, not going to be able to get it. He's got a good amount of mats as well. 2 crash pads remaining in the inventory. So he can make it into zone number 7 and 8 as it pulls away from him. He's going to look for any eliminations that he can, but he decides, you know what, I'm going to get ahead of zone, then look back, because that is the best way to find these eliminations, as players are not paying attention to the head of zone.
And you can see top 25 taking over. Hen does go down there as well. There's a player who's contending towards the top. But Tayson, the winner of Heat 2, trying to push forward and cement his spot. He has now tied Rifla, who is the leader coming into this. This is his opportunity to take over the front spot. And notice what he's doing so well is he's tarping out and he's using
Merci à Pro White qui vient de s'abonner, ça fait plaisir.
front part of the zone, and then he doubles back right here.
On est dans la
looking
team
for
Durr.
picks. This is something when you have execution, you have space, no one else is on your level, you turn eliminations in by doing this because he knows he's safe and he can continue moving on a horizontal level while also harassing his opponents. Top 20 ticks over now. Tayson going to continue contributing there. 43 points for the E11 player.
And he goes into zone to crash play because he wanted to be safe doing it, did not want to risk it. He's got the flopper. That damage he took is effectively null. He's back up to 200.
Tayson est très très chaud. Il passe à 5 kills. Actuellement, 43 points. Il reste 16 personnes. 6 kills. J'ai à lui 45 points. Peut-être un 7ème kill.
You can see Bonjour up on the high ground, Snazy on the low ground, everyone else in between. Scram still up in this lobby. Nate, Milan, Cartoon up as well. Frenzy Fishy dipping back into the storm. That's the flopper play. Going for a late high ground take right now, and he's trying to push forward. Frenzy Fishy up on the high ground, but now dropping back in. This is the box-to-box fight. He's able to pick it up. That is a huge elimination reason right over the side. But it's all Tayson all the time. 9 eliminations pushing forward for top 5. And he's saying right now, I can cement this #1 spot. I can take away the game. I can make you chase in game number 6 as he closes in for top 3, and he's still hunting. He has that mythic charge shotgun. He says, I'm not just a shockwave player. 11 eliminations, 2 of the players go down, and it's reason, arguably the strongest solo player, wire to wire, against what is the strongest solo player on the day right now in E11's Tayson. Tayson up on the high ground, Reason on the low ground, and that little bit of Old Man Mountain, he doesn't have to be too large, but it's going to burn Reason through the last of his resources. He's standing out there spraying, no builds left, and Tayson converts, and he does so in a monstrous way. 12 eliminations, add the 14 points for the victory royale. That's 26 points in match number 5. What?
What an insane performance from Tayson. The lead has been blown out of the water, and now it's just going to be about who can play catch-up. Can Rifle do it? Can Deceptor do it?
Attendez les gars, je vais rechercher un jetpack. on y retourne. Pour, je pense, la dernière game.
Biggest comeback he needed. Ball, what is going on?
It was clinical, man. It was absolutely clinical. It felt like every shot was connecting and he was making all these quick decisions. There wasn't a time in there where he paused, where he took a second to breathe. He didn't stop at all. Foot on the gas and he takes it all the way up to the top. What a performance from Tayson.
I feel like there was one person on his keyboard and a separate person on his mouse because he was playing movement and aim perfectly, Tayson. And that's why I'm going to say he's 100% first place right now, holding stuff off from everyone else. The question is completely right, though. Who can catch up to him? Because he's a pack leader by so many points. Oh my goodness.
Qui passe premier, 21 éliminations, 58 points, un top 1. Ok, on a Frenzy Fishy, hein, c'est 9ème, 10 kills et 36 points. Oh, Go Decipto qui est 3ème, 11 kills et 41 points. Grisien, toujours 7ème, 4 kills, 38 points. On va faire plus de kills.
It's his destiny. It's Tayson's destiny to win this entire tournament, this entire region, and it's been decreed. The question is, can anyone flip the story, flip the switch? Rifle, Decipto's Hen, Reason. It's their last game to have a stand, have a say in it. XP's Thomas, I mean, if Tayson can do it, if he can be at this spot, 20th place,
15ème, un top 1, 9 kills et 31 points. On a Slender qui est 18ème avec un top 1, 5 kills et 29 points. On a FaZe Moral qui est 17ème devant Slender qui a 6 kills et 31 points. Ça joue à 2 points entre Slender et Moral.
One game left. We thought it's
on n'a pas vu Benji Fishy.
Rifle is at the top. There's no way. And suddenly
ok, on a Greasy Bad Sniper qui est 22ème.
My time is right here, right now, and that's what these guys need to do.
Ok, c'est serré avec il est en médian un kill de plus. Donc.
It was Janice, Tayson's duo partner, but all of a sudden it seems like the skills have transferred because Tayson has now stopped this weekend.
Qui est 23ème, 3 kills et 28 points. Skate qui est 23ème. C'est très très bien ça.
There's a big question, right? Because we were saying, oh, it's Deciptos, oh, it's Rifle, oh, these guys, Latwick has an opportunity, but I talked about conversion last time you guys saw me, and all of a sudden, those guys fell. They dropped like flies. Absolutely every single one of them ended up dropping and gave Tayson and so many others the opportunity, but it feels like Tayson took and strangled all the opportunity from everybody else.
Parle de Tayson.
That is how it goes sometimes, man. We keep talking about it. Those guys at the top, they have to hold on. If they can't, this will happen.
Yeah, I'm going to give you my natural reactions to what I thought this game would look like. Wow, Anas, I'm so hyped and ready for you to be playing this out to get all the way back up to first. And here we go. He gets taken out. Past that, it's fine. We have more predictions in the top 5, right? Letwick, he's there to hang. He's at authority. He has the power and control. He's winning shots, making sure everything's looking good for himself. But he gets beat out too.
It's Carrot, who lurks in the authority again since the invitational, and he stops.
Faut chier un peu avec leur canne à pêche de mort.
Nothing in the tank there gets scrammed. There was a big shift in player behavior in this game and how they were playing so aggressive. The only guy out of that top 5 who made it towards the end was Deciptos, but a huge shot from Larka out of a peak box to make it count.
Tayson.
And if these jumbo jets of players are not there to rule the skies towards this end game, it's Tayson that takes that flight plan, takes Sword all the way and takes flight actually into this game and holds down things. Starting off a little bit slow, gets 1 or 2 eludes from the end game, but then you saw what happened when the zone started to close down. You saw how proficient he was with every decision.
Il panique, et puis le kill.
How he didn't stop at all in this game is because of this new season, because the crash pads actually activate people in mobility to get this far in the game and then do things like this. Tayson finding the moments where players are going to drop in to old bases for where he could find elims, and then again, decisive, dropping down, gets another one, and he does not stop.
Every shot he took was still from cover looking out towards the open, so it was literally perfect. There was nothing wrong with what he was doing at all.
Not at all, and even when players start to get aggressive on him, he will respond in kind. He only has a charged shotgun and a burst AR, but he makes it work even close range, and then it's just follow up. Down below, another peak box. He finds another. This is it. Look at this shot. The flick jump onto the player on height. The biggest threat. And Tayson takes him out so fast. Another quick build and boom.
He actually lands the shot, lands the landing,
Boom.
and then gets hyped with another back-to-back past that. The left peak, followed by the right one as well. Reason had no idea what he was up against, and Tayson was on fire. With so much hot momentum. What a performance.
If you blinked, you missed it. Because I don't know.
Pareil, hein, les gars, pour l'événement de la fin de saison, on sera en live. Donc on sera en live le 27 pour le début de la saison 4. On sera en live vers 8h, 9h du matin. J'attendrai la mise à jour. On découvrira le poste de combat en live.
I'm reading my notes here.
Ouais,
I think I'm seeing there's a new mythic
On
player
découvrira les
on the
nouveautés.
map, and if he's in the end
On
game,
sera en live pour l'événement. Donc on ne sait pas encore la date. Je ne sais même pas si on aura un, j'espère.
The tone has shifted. Can
On voit un
Tayson
prochain
hold
live
down that #1 spot, or will someone step
sur
up
l'événement
and
cette
try to
semaine,
dethrone
au
him?
week-end prochain.
Let's get ready to get into the last
Voilà
game
tout.
here in EU. Sundown, Clay, take it away, guys.
Thank you so much, gentlemen, and it all comes down to this. After 40 possible matches in each weekend, 80 possible during the course of the qualifiers, then the 6 in the heats, then 5 in the grand finals, we have one match remaining, and the tail of the tape is E11's Tayson taking out his former duo partner in Steamy Stacks for the first of 12 eliminations to secure the victory royale in a 16-point lead coming into the final match. Clay, can anybody catch him, or is it a wrap?
The only way somebody can catch him is if somebody here in Steamy decides that they want to push and get this elimination. There's somebody nearby as well. It's either Kinsel or Janice. We know they land here. They have an opportunity. It's going to be Kinsel there to shut him down if they want to and go on a run of themselves, but it would need to be quick and decisive. As we saw last game, Tayson put down Janice. He did not care they were doing mates. He did not care they were landing in the same place.
Ok, niveau shield il se met bien. La R bleue c'est cool. La carabine c'est bien, mais le pompe en vert.
And that's what it's all about. We talked about it. There's no love lost. It's the solo competition. There is one axe of champions up for grabs, and everyone is currently chasing Tayson for it. You can see Benji picking up an Elim in the feed there. So who besides E11's Tayson is currently in the running? Sitting in second place at 42 points, needs 16 to close it. He is the closest. And you have Deceptos at 41, Hen at 40, Reason at 40, Badil at 38, Snazy at 38, and then we'll keep Letwick in the conversation as well at 37, that's 21 points back. So that's 7 eliminations plus the victory royale.
And it sounds like a lot because it is, but these players can do it. These players and make the play. We just saw Tayson do just that. But of course, it's all contingent on if Tayson goes down. If he's able to make it into that top 25, into the top 15, top 10 placement points, then your chances are very, very, very slim of toppling him.
Yeah, the longer he stays in the game, the more that delta closes. And now we're going to swing back on board here. And Os potentially looking to set up a nice little door ambush. We've seen this a number of times before. The reason players will hang out by doors is because a lot of players will either interact with doors right away or have auto interact set. What that means is when they walk up and they open the door, they're unable to take any other action because you're locked out while you're performing that animation. If a player walks in right on the other side of the door, this is a Nos looking to manufacture an elimination, and Bitfox might be the one on the other side of it.
He is setting the trap, and the cheese, you gotta wonder how tasty it'll be here for Bitfox as he's falling for it. He's walking right into Nos, is gonna get the shot. The trap has been sprung. Bitfox down to 23 HP, and Nos really needs this elimination if he wants to contest it. Bitfox trying to stay out and run away, but Anas gonna pick that one up.
And that's so good. We talked about it last game. We talked about doing everything possible in your power to set it up to be successful, to manufacture these points when you need to climb that grind and get up and catch somebody like Tayson, where every single point matters. We can see some early shots coming out here. Can he potentially find the tags, convert it into elimination, And looking on the bottom right-hand corner, nobody's really threatening even remotely close to him right now.
Indeed, and this is what you want if you want to get that first place. He says he's just going to get gifted an elimination on the handy.
And that's so huge.
Tyson qui actuellement un kill des 59 points. Il peut faire de remontada niveau kill, donc peut-être gratter des points, même s'il est actuellement premier dans le top, mais ça lui ferait une différence.
Hit him with that hee-haw emote. Let him hear the donkey laugh, because that's what Tyson has to say after throwing one singular AR bullet. But you saw him looking at it. You knew there was a third-party opportunity, and that's what makes the best player in Europe over there.
And we also need to point out, yes, this is for first place as well. That is the goal everyone is playing. But everybody's going to get money for just best solo players in the European region. So now I said it, this is the most played in, most competitive region of the world, and it's not going to be easy to just even make it here. So
ah oui, lag.
One of them may done so much just to get here, to get their moment right here on the screen. It's turning to fight in his favor. The pistol being used, it's breaking through the build, and Slender, unfortunately.
Just a reminder again, this is the top 0.00 of players. This is the best of the best of the absolute best, and they're competing against her after a grueling qualifying and heat process is now on board with Wolf. Having a tough run of it today on the opposite side of AR Bafa, who we've seen a number of times more than capable of taking these fights. So it should be a good little battle right here. But Wolfie's continuing trying to play the aggressor. We talk about his rough day. Only 8 points after out here, wants to have at least some form of a stamp on this game.
Si le mec qui est pas avec sa bug, on s'en fout.
Just as a spoiler.
Donc on voit le gameplay. Oh, Wolf qui tombe. Wolf Dog qui tombe. That's an AR Bafo.
And AR Bafo is someone that has kind of come into that WT role and kind of taken it over for a lot of these players. And right there, someone who was really good at pushing that forward back.
À la fin de celle-là, on arrête le live. Sur ça. J'espère que ça va venir.
So not in his full form there, but still, what a performance by Wolfies to just make it here today and put those 8 points up. Rezon, however, one of those players that could contend for the top. Again, you would need Tayson to go down before placement points started being divvied out. If he goes down in top 76, that is good for Rifle, good for Rezon. But the likelihood of that happening are very, very slim.
Especially because we saw Tayson early on grab whatever loot and mats he can and then just sprint towards the center zone. That first round of placements will be falling over in with just 4 more players going down, so a little bit quicker of a pace here. As you can tell, everyone trying to push it a little bit, get a couple of eliminations, get a couple placement points, try and move your way past that next player, maybe get a pay upgrade. And if you're hanging out for the first time watching us in Party Royale, and you're not necessarily used to competitive Fortnite, first of all, welcome. Thank you for joining us. You might be wondering, hey, how do I get involved with this? How do I play in these matches? How do these players get here? Well, the first step is to go in and play in the arena. That is where you'll be able to earn hype, which is different levels of play.
N'hésitez pas à vous abonner, les gars.
Into contender, and then you're up into champion,
Plaisir.
which will allow you access
Petit pouce bleu aussi.
Where you're
Cool.
ended up placing. All of these players have grinded to the highest level, which is that champion level, which then grants access to certain cash cups as well as the FNCS. Then you can compete in those open tournaments to try and make the final rounds, which guarantee qualifications into the heats. And then after these heats, which were played on Friday and Saturday, you get the grand final. So again, when we talk about that 0.001%, these players have at the top of the game, 74 left, so 1 point going down to everyone, and that includes Tayson.
It also includes Rifla as well as Rezon there. Thomas HG picking it up. Janice nearby as well. Thomas has got to be very careful here. If he is being a little bit too greedy, farming up a little bit too much too soon, he could start to go down as Janice is going to look to take him down. The builds are just not building there for him as he does Take a lot of damage, 62 HP. He does have the RPG in his inventory, so he could turn that around if he gets the opportunity to, but he's got to be careful. Janus being aggressive. RPG out. It's going to hit the tree, but it doesn't do any damage. 27 HP.
Thomas
He's
HD.
trying to side jump, but the ramp going to cut him off there. As Janus continuing to pressure up, Thomas HD is getting WG'd, and Janus is going to be the one to take him out.
Thomas's attempt at a run will go down there. He was 12th trying to enter in here. We had talked about it. We'd hyped him up. We'd shown just how good and accurate he could be, but ran into Janus there, the FNCS Invitational Champion, in a tough 1v1. Again, it would have been an outside chance looking in, but now there is no chance as his FNCS is over. He's just hoping he can hold on to whatever spot in the top 20 as he's going to drop down from where he is right now after only picking up a singular point there. But now back on board with Flowis, who has that hunting rifle out. He's looking to catch a cheeky headshot here right around the corner.
Oh, he's setting it up. He's getting so close. He's waiting for the opportunity to get it, taking his time, and he does hit it, but it's a body shot, not a headshot. Unfortunately, that will give him the pressure, though, that he needs to do. He's got the crash pad, set it up into the box. He goes with that player new, and the diagonal box out gonna come through, and Flowis not able to capitalize on that elimination. He was so sneaky when it mattered the most, but unfortunately, only the body shot coming through from him. But he gets tagged up by a third party, and now the player he headshot, or the body shot rather, is gonna push him. It's going to be Kylix going aggressive, and Kylix needs elimination as well. Move into the upper echelon of prizing, and Flowis is just looking to try to make a run here. Flowis 23 HP, ticking down. Cashback comes through, and Kylix is gonna come out on top.
Tries to enter the bounce house, but unfortunately a little too much for that one. Got a little rowdy. They're going to kick you out. And it was Kylix who was the bouncer, pulling him out, ending his FNCS run. No attempt for heroics here from Flowis, but peeking back on over. Again, Tayson, match number 5 winner, 26 points in that game overall. Currently had a 16-point game there. You can see Tayson now holds the largest lead between first and second all weekend so far, so it's just an act of holding on. And even then, if he goes down here, it's going to take a heroic effort from somebody in the top 10 to not only convert on a victory royale, but pick up a number of eliminations to even come close to matching that 12 elim victory royale we just saw. And currently sitting on 60 points, it looks like this might be a victory lap for him.
It looks that way indeed, but he's set up in a very awkward spot. He's got a player held out of zone. He's also got 2 players on the mountain behind him. As Janus picking up another elimination there onto Sapphic. Tayson, though, is the story of the day. Can he hold the lead? The largest lead we've seen in between first and second. He's looking to make it even larger here with this elimination, but someone else being a nuisance and shooting some shots over towards Kylix. Tayson not peeking, is waiting for the right time to make his move and to make that striking distance and close it. We'll have to wait and see if he's going to be able to stay alive or get that elimination. There's Stacey now sitting in this box looking for the same amount of eliminations as he's going for shots all around players. He needs a miracle run. He needs, I believe, 21 total points, and so he could do it. We saw Tayson do it, but it would need to be in an impressive game.
But again, don't forget, we've talked about it time and time again. It's not just the #1 spot. Yes, the Axe of Champions and all that clout is great, but because Tayson is occupying so many of those points, everyone else who's in 2nd to 10th right now, each one of their interactions against each other is going to matter in terms of the placement, in terms of the money you end up walking away with. And also, man, 2nd sounds so much better than 8th or 7th or 6th, right? Like that battle for 2nd place and who can capitalize on this opportunity is still a huge moment. Going back and looking at the Solo World Cup, TSM's crew was able to go from 66 to 6 with a singular 7-game victory royale in the final moment. Will we see some similar heroics for somebody to charge up the leaderboard and push themselves in the top 5 while Tayson is just doing his best to avoid all conflict, because he knows the longer he holds on, the more likely he is to raise that axe at the end.
And just a reminder, every place past 6th place is an increase of $10,000. So if you are Slick, if you are Rifla, if you are Deceptos, that's what you're looking for. Kylix is trying to get up in there as well. up until that gap in between first and second, where it's about a $25,000 increase, there's still a lot of money on the line looking for these players to grab, and I'm very concerned right now. Kylix, with this hunting rifle, is shooting shots over to Tayson. This is not looking good. If Tayson does not get out of the situation, Kylix should get the snipe onto him, and the pressure is coming through. Will Kylix hit it? Will he hit the shot that will end Tayson's run? His shots are coming through, 129 effective HP in a very bad spot. Everybody knows he just got tagged up as well. Will he be WQ'd by Kylix here? The pressure come through, and Kylix is going in. The crash pad's going to be used, but Kylix is very low HP, 66.
Qui a 2 kills, 22 points. Quelques points pour faire la différence. Hein. Peut-être monter dans le classement, je sais pas. Tayson qui part.
Tayson smelled blood in the water with Kylix pinned against
J'ai
the outside of the zone. But
malheureusement.
Kylix says, let's open up the floodgates. Let's give the opportunity for somebody to have that heroic moment. Number 1 is down. I repeat, number 1 is down. E11's Tayson has been taken out at 60 points. That's the line we're looking at. Can anybody possibly catch him? Who's in the conversation? It's going to take the victory royale and much, much more. But all of a sudden, this game has so much more tension on it as the victory lap has been canceled early. He pulled up, and now can anybody else close that gap? Enos doing his best right there, picking up an elimination, but he has a long rotation to go before he gets into the zone.
And Carton and Kazix are not going to let him get there easy. They're not going to let an easy rotate come out. So he does have crash pads and launch pads there. What's concerning for Enos is the amount of AR in his inventory. Now, if he knows that Tayson just went down, if the feed showed it, and he doesn't have that anonymous mode on, Enos is going to be very, very, very hungry for placement. He's just going to look to try to set up in a good spot, but right on the edge of zone, there's going to be players looking for you. And you see the quick edit. That's there. Going to protect him for a little bit, but he's running out a hard match, and you see the wood being built there. He's got to be careful. Carton setting up nearby as well. Question is rifle still in a good spot to contend as well. There's so many players that are on the cusp of taking this game away from Tayson. It is going to be so, so close.
But don't forget, the line is 60 points, so while they're close, they need a lot. Tayson had a monumental performance in last game, and Enos is trying to double it up right now. We talk about it. It's going to take all the skill, a little bit of luck, and a bunch of execution, and right there, some good shots coming through, but not going to be able to find the loot afterwards. So who are we looking at who can potentially close it if they win the game? Rifle is in the conversation. Deceptos, Hen, Reason, Vadil, Snazy, Letwick, Frenzy Fishy, and Enos. Any of those players, if they're still up, gaining eliminations and gaining points, are slowly going to be shrinking that gap. So keep an eye on the yellow numbers to the left of their name in their HP pool, as well as the top left for any of those guys going down or picking up points. Circle 4 is revealed, and pretty much everyone has already established themselves. So we're going to wait. We're going to roll the dice and see where circle number 5, that half in, half out zone that triggers the initial use of utility, where does it pull? And which one of these key players can capitalize on the position and the opportunity they're given. This is the final game. There is 4 storm zones left after this. 52 players up. Number 1 is down. Can anybody catch him, or will Tayson's lead be enough to just barely edge him over the top? There's the zone on the far west side, Clay.
And Rifle has no mobility. He's got to make a play. Reminder, AR Baffo is right nearby Rifle. If he gets too aggressive and shoots a little bit too early, Baffo will strike. You've seen him hop out of cones into players' boxes to look for it. That is not good for Rifle. He needs to rotate soon. He's got to go up. Exactly. He's got to follow that path that was just built for him. Because if he doesn't, he's going to get capitalized. But there's Baffo's moving. Baffo's moving behind. Shots come through. Down to 131 HP. Rifle needs to get out of this one. Sniper is out. Baffo is rotating there as well. He realizes that crash pad going to be used. Chug Splash, rather. He doesn't have any crash pads in his inventory. He's got to be careful he doesn't overpeak this. If a shot comes through that tags the shield, he's got nothing left there. 170 is going to find a launch pad. Is it enough? Is he getting a shot in the air? 114 shields are broken. Everybody knows. Tags go through and Rifle's down. Number 2 is out of the game.
Left.
Twain's picking that one up, saying, no run for you, sir. You must be this tall to ride the ride, and you will go down. Frenzy Fishy picking up one, so he's going to start moving his way up the leaderboard. We're inside the top 50, so that's another placement point down. Everyone who's contending for Tayson getting those points, he did not. He went down outside of that threshold. Again, the line is 60. Can anybody cross it towards the end? It's up for grabs. If somebody in the top 10 can seize the moment and be the one to lift it up and deny the E11 player, the Slovenian Lord, that Axe of Champions. And right now, Air Bafo trying to find some space. The 5th zone is closing, which means we have the late game, the full moving coming right after that, and we're over sweaty sand, so tons of natural building in play, excess materials that can come out, but also weird rotational paths as Bafo pushes in, continuing with the aggressive playstyle and takes out Floppa Michael.
60 points is what everybody needs to be thinking about right now. That is the number that you need to break. You also need to pick up a victory royale. If you're just going for 60, the 61 points is where you really need to be shooting. That is a very tall order to ask.
I mean, 61 realistically, too, because even with the Victory Royale, Tayson has the highest eliminations out of anybody in this tournament right now, so he owns that tiebreaker solidly. Now we're going to hop on board here with Deceptos, who's currently below Storm Surge, and we're actually going to need 14 players to drop, so that could end up coming into play with how fast this zone closes. If everybody prioritizes rotation, and with nobody wanting to drop, you could see that happen, but right now, Deceptos trying to find a pick. This is the final game of the EU FNCS, the final circles, 3 left. Number 1 player is down, and who can catch him? 61 points is what it will take to lift that axe and be the one who walks away with $80,000 in the end, and it's all about if you can catch Tayson.
Deceptos 10 looking to do it, 42, 43 points each. They're very, very close. Him now going up, but he doesn't have a lot of HP. He's going to need to find something. Crash pad's being used, trying to build to keep a little bit of a mid-ground chart, but not going to be able to do it. Benji making a run to just try to separate his game and try to get as many placement points and move himself up the leaderboard as he can, because he's out of contention for the Action Champions. AR Bafo there as well. Mongrel in this game, Scram going down. Hen trying to make something happen. Janice going to go down. Mongrel going to fall, as well as Orange. Hen picks up another elimination. This could be his run as well, but it's going to be very, very close.
Storm Surge will turn off there as we have the top 30. Janice picking up an elim there.
Je crois que j'ai entendu qu'il restait mon Graal.
Win, he needs to put his foot on the gas, right? The placement points aren't just enough. The Victory Royale isn't enough. We saw Tayson, he had 12 elims. Every one of those elims was a point that pushed him farther up. And while being still in the game gives you opportunities, if you want to seize the moment and you want to say you're best of the best, you have to go now. You have to be pushing people. You have to be converting on the points.
Là, il dit qu'il va falloir push, parce que c'est la dernière partie, donc il va falloir push. Il va falloir faire pas mal de kills pour essayer de gratter des points. Malheureusement, il n'a plus de construction. Belen, il est obligé de courir, il n'a plus de construction. Dommage, GG. Dommage.
Taking over and looking at the names of the lobby, I think only Frenzy Fishy has a chance, and I don't think he has enough elims this game going through. Tayson is going to be your FNCS solo champion, but it's about who can get that second place right now. If they're able to push forwards here, Deceptos theoretically could eliminate every single player in the lobby and go for it, but we talked about it. You have to be pushing the pace. Instead, he's saying, okay, I understand Tayson has that W. I know he's probably going to take the first spot, but if I can stay in this lobby, I'm going to pass other players. Everyone else has gone down, and now he's dropping in 112 on the first one, but he gets walled off. 35 HP, uses the crash pad, but he goes up vertically and not into the box. Top 10 and another point ticks over. Deceptos goes down with 49. Now it's all about pride. The final Victory Royale in beating the person next to you, getting a little bit more of a payday in the final game here.
And Bafo could get that. He's at 40 points. We saw Deceptos go down with 49. This could be a second place run for Bafo. Stroky trying to make something happen there as well. 4 eliminations here for AR Bafo. Eliminations coming through all around for Stroky on that high ground. Looking to break his way on down. Stroky down very, very low. Has to box on up. Twain's doing that. Nade dropping down. Bafo trying to just make something happen. 100 effective HP. 5 builds there for them. Stroky getting tagged up there by Twain. Shots coming through. He's trying to hit him, but he's not going to make it. No, he does. Elimination comes through. Raffo trying to make something happen as well. Dropping down to the outside, going around the boxes. Is going to find some loot. He's going to fall there to zone. Baffo with 4 eliminations.
Il reste 3 personnes, les gars.
Number 5, number 6, and
Là, il
number
faut
7 as
face
more people are
Croaky.
falling. And Baffo clutches up the last
Ah, il y a
elimination for the
Bafo
victory
qui
but I don't
top
think he's
1.
going to get second.
Et GG à lui, 5 kills, 47 points.
What a huge push from Bafo at the end. We talked about it, how every interaction will matter. And while E11's Tayson is the best player in Europe for this season, walking away with the Axe of Champions, the 80 grand and all of the clout, Bafo takes game number 6. He'll rocket himself up the leaderboard. He'll earn a nice little payday in the clutch moments, and you can see there
Tayson qui est premier.
Tayson was today. 22 eliminations.
Il est champion d'Europe. GG à lui.
But the big one, Clay,
Je crois qu'il remporte les FNCS. Hein. Je crois que c'est fini.
In game number 5.
What an insane way to secure yourself that number 1 spot. It was dicey towards the end, but I think we all knew that Tayson just had to stay alive just a little bit, and he did that, and he walks away with a victory.
We talked about it specifically. It would need a heroic effort from somebody in the top 10, but instead a heroic effort from Bafo, who was 26 before that. But where will he end up on the final leaderboards? We're going to throw it back on over to Zeke, Bala, and Shayo to close this one up. Thank you guys so much for watching.
Sundown Clay, absolutely incredible casting of the day. You guys were so on point with these calls. I mean, it did come down to the wire, and for sure, Tayson is the FNCS champion, and now will walk away with the Axe of Champions. Now, of course, big props, but now we take a little bit of a turn here and look at everyone else. Second between fifth, because placing up there is a pretty considerable amount of money.
Yeah, and to get there, how things were, all the way till the final second, the final shot, the top 10 switched up. So, looking at what it is now, after Game 6, after this grueling process for Europe is over, it's Tayson at the top spot, 60 points, $80,000. At 10th is Anas still holding on, 7,000 for him, 41 points. We'll look at the names in between.
Good disciple aussi deuxième.
Lizzy
qui gagne 30 000, GG à lui. Kenzie Fishy qui est sixième, GG à lui. Remporte $20 000, GG à lui.
After back-to-back basically championships from them, Tayson at 60 points, but Deceptos held on. That final moment, it looked like he was going to go for it, but unfortunately, he fell just a little short, but enough to propel himself and hold on to that second place. And then in third, this was the man who rose up in the final game, 19 points. He was way below. Sundown said 26 plates. He went from $2,000 earned,
basically on this page, all the way up to Mon qui gagne 2500 aussi, donc ils ont tous les deux 35 points. FaZe, Mon et juste Stream Sky ont 37 points tous les deux. Mais FaZe qui passe devant.
Second and third place. This is their first Grand Finals appearance, and what a big appearance and a performance it was. Like, man, no practice in these types of lobbies, no real experience on the big stage, and they pulled that out? Unprecedented.
Yeah, absolutely, but it was a battle all the way through. Vadil, Nate, Letwick. Letwick did so well in those early moments, but unfortunately falls out of the top 10. Still, solid performance from all these guys. Qualifying for the grand finals and then getting up to this top 20 is definitely something to be proud of. And there were so many moments that we remember from these guys, from Mongrel throughout the season, from Snipe today in the grand finals, from Flois in that very first game. He owns that 21st spot. $2,500 earned from him.
Yeah, these guys had such amazing memories made in the heats. One person here today as well who had a win, Slender. I feel like he's one of my favorite players coming out of Europe that I really haven't been able to watch before. He showed us his prowess in every single stage of the tournament, especially in grand finals with that win that he had. $2,500, 24th place and a few points to boot. Very good performance from him.
And just generally, great performances across the board. You know, we cannot stress this enough. This is the top 100 players in the region. They have the bragging rights. They are allowed to say, I made it to the grand finals of the FNCS. After a grueling gauntlet, I stood at the top. Now, of course, Tayson will hold the Axe of Champions for now, but for everyone else here, they can truly say they are the cream of the crop.
And I think one thing that these guys are going to look forward to now is the solo season wraps for EU. Obviously, they're going to, watch the rest of this too, because we got NA East coming up next with some very interesting storylines too. But for now, they get to take a breather, relax a little bit as we head up into the next FNCS season or whatever comes after that, because I know people are excited.
Yep, and now we're looking at how things look after the heats in a top 100 stack lobby in a region that's what people say is the best to watch, the best to see. So definitely going to see the changes over in NA East, and definitely going to take a slight breather to see and catch up on those games too.
Well, Shy put it best. Guys, that's it for Europe, but don't forget we are back later to wrap up NA East and crown an FNCS champion there. Till then, Fortnite fam, we'll see you guys on the Battle Bus.
Et c'est donc la fin des FN16 les gars, je crois. Bon bah les gars, sur ce, on se retrouve demain. Je vous fais des gros bisous. Puis bah, c'était vraiment cool de faire les FN16 avec vous. C'était très cool. Donc sur ce les gars, à demain pour un nouveau live peut-être. Des gros bisous.